It might surprise you. I look to my dad a lot. I look to people who just, you know, kind of like we were talking about with Ken, people that make a living from a passion, whatever that is. You know, I'm not motivated by money. I'm not motivated by fame. I'm not motivated by, you know, an idea of having a following. I am motivated by people who do the simple things, who are good to people, who are honest, and who really, really try to make the world around them a little bit better. Because I think in the current climate, we sit and put the emphasis on ourselves. You know, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. And I don't fault anybody for that, because I was in that same mode for a long time, and probably even why I'm sitting here today, because I did put the camera on myself. But I like to turn the lens around now and look at people who are doing simple things, like somebody that gets off the couch and loses 50 pounds to save their life, or to save their health, or to be a better parent, whatever it is. People who do real world things and improve themselves in ways that might not seem inspiring, those are what inspire me. I've had money. I've had a big house on a golf course. I've done that kind of stuff, and that was pre-April 12, 2016. So none of those things fixed the holes that were inside of me. And you know, seeing someone change their life, or lose weight, or reconnect with an old friend, or whatever it is, somebody who makes himself uncomfortable to get better, that's what's going to improve and inspire me every single time. I know that for me, removing that veil of perfection, or of always being good, or always being successful, I know what's behind the curtain. You know what I mean? I know that there are struggles. I know that anybody that's got $1 million has either stepped on people's throats or worked their ass off. You know, I know that anybody that has success in business has worked and worked and worked. And in lifting, I've missed lifts. You know, I could show you the highlight reel. I could make every day that I have look like perfect. But then I disconnect, because I can't be like that guy, because he's always smiling, he's always doing this. And yeah, I smile almost every single day, but it's important to talk about the down times, because if you knew how many people have contacted me since I started talking about, you know, the depression and the ups and downs of my surgery, I realized I can connect with you, or I might be able to motivate you. The motivation is very small. It's very, you know, if it takes a video to get you to go to the gym, you're probably not going to go to the gym forever. You know, it has to be intrinsic. But if I can connect with someone on a human level, where they do understand that for, you know, I lifted 20 years, for 10 years, nobody knew who I was. You know, I had a 2,500 pound total before I got a free pair of wrist wraps in Multiply. So people come to me with these things and like, oh, you've got this and you've got that. I didn't always have it. I always worked. I always maintained jobs. I always financed my way around. I never took sponsorship money, even when it was there, just so I could pay my own way. And I don't fault anybody for taking those options, but I always wanted to look at a kid and say, you know what, don't let what you don't have hinder what you can do. And I just think that being as real as possible is the greatest gift we have left. You got time, and you've got who you are. And you can paint a pretty picture with your life on Instagram, but every single person has got drama. Every single person has got bad days. Every single person has low points. And I think that we're all struggling. I think that we're all looking for direction. But as far as I can tell, I've never seen a perfect playbook for life. And we're all going to have those good and bad times. And I think sharing the bad times helps people learn to find the good times. And just like me, when I was down and really low, the first person I went to was my dad. You know, I looked at him, and he was a guy that maybe I didn't connect with for the longest time, because there was nothing glamorous about his life. He got up at 4 a.m., he left at 5 a.m., he was home at 8 p.m., and it was just an endless cycle. And I thought that was a failure of sorts, right? But look, he raised 3 young men. I have 2 brothers that are amazing. He's been married to my mom since 1978. And you look at those things, and it's not money, and it's not a title or a status or a following. It's the fact that he lived a life. And I think a lot of people are chasing a life that they see online, but it's leaving them short in all those areas that is a life. Your friends, your family, contentment, not worrying about, do I have this thing, or do I have that purse, or do I have this pair of shoes, or whatever. Because if you strip me down, the one thing that I've written about probably more than anything else to myself is what I call the naked truth. I could stand here in front of every single one of you naked, and you can't judge me, because I've judged myself. I've judged myself in exactly who I am, on every single belief that I have, and I've asked hard questions of myself. Why do I believe this? Do I believe it because you told me to believe it, or do I believe it because I studied it and I invested in it? And I think if more people could get to that point and understand that I am what I am, but I have to know who I am before you can ever accept who I am. That to me is real power. That to me is real strength, is knowing and being satisfied and being happy with who you are.
Always a learner.
Always have to be. You always have to learn, because the moment that you think you know it all, or the moment from a coaching perspective you say an exercise doesn't work, you'll meet the client that needs it. You know, I trained at Westside. I trained the Westside method for over 10 years, and I kind of had a rebellious period where I said box squats are a joke, you don't need them, whatever. Coming back from injury, guess what I'm doing? Box squats. So that was a real hard lesson for me too, is I may not agree with you today, and I may not agree with you tomorrow, but somewhere down the line, if you've invested and you've got skin in the game and you've put forth effort to have an understanding, I'm a fool if I don't at least consider what you're saying. Now, and a lot of people will try to back up their belief with more of their own belief. It's better to understand the opposition to fully strengthen what you believe. So if you believe in one training method and I believe in mine, if I only listen to people who agree with me, then it's going to be very easy to stay static and become comfortable. But if you're challenging me, that's where growth comes from. So if you tell me something and I think, I just reject it, you probably got more out of it than I did.